The Georgia Bulldogs are just over 2 months away from closing in on the #1 class in the 2024 cycle, but there's still a few more pieces to fill before Kirby Smart and his staff are happy with what they got. And in this video, we're going to focus on big potential flip target, plus this Saturday, 5-star defensive lineman LJ McCray will announce his commitment. Will the Dogs land yet another 5-star prospect? We'll find out. But first, Georgia fans, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. Look at this. We're trying to get to 20K. Dog fans, help us get there. Subscribe. Thank you. Let's bring on my guy, Rusty Mansell from Dawgs HQ. And Rusty, this week, it's a Georgia bye, so you have some time off. But we know what the Georgia coaches will be doing. They'll be recruiting. Where are we expecting the UGA staff to pop up on their bye week? Because we know they'll be at some Friday night games.
That's something I'll be watching for sure. You always kind of say, hey, where are they going to end up? I did confirm a couple of visits, and you look at Mike Bobo, who's going to be up in the Boston area seeing quarterback commit, 2024 quarterback commit, Ryan Puglisi, who's off to a great start this year. So Mike Bobo will be up there to see him. You look at Dale McGee, who will fly all the way to California. He wants to keep tabs on the #1 running back in the country, Nate Frazier, who's verbally committed to Georgia as well. So we'll have more as the week goes on, but you can tell on late Thursday night, early Friday morning, Georgia staff will hit the road. You always, Josh, it's that week you kind of want to say, hey, who are they going to see? Because if a name pops up, you know what that means. Those two people have been talking, so that's what we're going to watch as the week goes on, especially in the 2024 class.
Yeah, you get a good feel for who's a priority. And like you said, in the 2024 class, if there's ever going to be a late offer to go out, it's going to be in one of these evaluation situations. So 100%. Not saying that that's a possibility, but it's something that happens when the coaches 100%. Are out on the road. Okay, Rusty, let's get into some of these final targets for the Dogs. And I want to talk Cam Pruitt. He's right there in Statesboro, Georgia. And are the Dogs fading here? Because, he's a two-way athlete, plays both offense and defense. Georgia offered him as a DB, but are they still recruiting him as one? Because we know Tennessee, Colorado, some others are offering him some playing time on the offensive side of the ball.
I think Georgia's in a spot to where they're like, look, you just come here and we'll figure out the best way. We'll figure out offense or defense. Listen, Georgia recruited Miko Hardman, and for a year he played corner. He just didn't like it. He just wasn't natural. So they switched him over to offense, and where he was more natural. So I think with Cam Pruitt, Georgia's recruiting him really hard, saying, hey, if you come here, we'll figure it out once you get here, because there's only so many of these big-time guys that can run like him with verified track times. I wouldn't say Georgia's fading. They're still in communication. I think Tennessee's a team you kind of watch with this. Colorado, obviously, you got to take them serious with everybody now and get him on campus. But he's been very quiet. He's closed his circle down real tight, these last couple of months. So, but I am confident there's still communication between he and Georgia. And I think Georgia's got a shot here. We'll see what happens down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Tennessee made a move. Colorado obviously made a move. And then Georgia. I kind of think those are the primary three. Now let's get into a flip target. I teased this at the top. Georgia has quietly been working on an LSU flip. We're talking Andre Evans out of Nashville, Tennessee, committed to LSU in June. He also visited Georgia in the summer, but I really haven't heard much since then. Rusty, are things heating up between Evans and Georgia?
Things are certainly heating up, and it's getting real interesting real quick. But here's the thing, he worked out for Georgia staff. This is not like plan B. People like to say this is plan B. Georgia had this guy on campus. He worked out for the staff, and he's got verified times and size, 6'1", 196 pounds, probably a long-term corner. And you look at him and say that, again, Josh, there's not many like that. I mean, if you're going to play corner at Georgia, one thing I can say, that Fran Brown, Kirby Smart, and Will Muschamp, you got to have size and speed, and that's just what they believe in, and they've had success with those guys. So you look at the mold of him, and does he kind of fit that? Yes, he does. But we'll see. Now, it's easier said than done. Things can heat up real quick, and they can get shut off real quick in the world of recruiting. But I'm damn confident in this one's getting real interesting real quick with Georgia and this LSU verbal commit.
All right. Well, like I said, not many spots available in Georgia's class. So if they are recruiting him, he's a priority. We'll keep an eye on that. Yep. I'm sure LSU fans will too. Now, this Saturday, LJ McCray, the top-rated uncommitted defensive lineman in America, a newly minted 5-star here at On3. He's going to make his decision, long-awaited decision, on Saturday. And I think UGA has kind of been the team that's most consistently thought of as the leader for LJ McCray. Of course, he hasn't said that. I'm just talking about in the industry because McCrae has not tipped his hand at all. But what are you hearing as we're about 3 or 4 days out from this big decision?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm hearing is crickets, and that's what I've been hearing the last 6 weeks. So I'll tip my cap to LJ McCray. He hadn't told anybody anything, and you just kind of try to put pieces of the puzzle together, Josh. You've been on this side of it, covering it. But I can tell you this, as we sit here and tape this, I'm starting to hear a little bit more buzz about Florida State. They got the last visit with him. They got that last official with him. They seem like they're trying to make a move here at the end. I don't think there's a school right now that has talked to him privately and he said, look, I'm coming. But I am starting to hear more about Florida State as this thing approaches. Georgia and Florida have been battling, it seems, back and forth with this young man for 3 or 4 months. I'm confident in this. Wherever this guy goes, he's going to be a hell of a football player because there's only 2 or 3 per class, in my opinion, like this. This guy's 6'6", can move, rush the passer, set the edge. You're talking about a freaking football player. Sign me up for this guy immediately, whoever lands him.
Yeah, Georgia fans are familiar with his type. There's been some big-bodied athletes like him coming through Athens in their last couple of years. But like you said, it's a very tight race. And I can say from my perspective, I've been trying to find out, tidbits here and there. And the one thing I think is consistent across the board is LJ McCray has not informed any coaching staff one way or another if he's coming or going, nothing, complete silence. So let's just take UGA out of it for a minute. If it's not Georgia, who do you think it is right now?
If you would have asked me Friday, I would have said Florida. But if you ask me right now, and you are, I'd probably say Florida State. I think Florida State's made a move on both of these schools, and I'm not saying that's where he's going. If you're going to take Georgia out of this, I would go with Florida State right now. I think they've got some buzz with it, and that last visit could have been crucial. Georgia went and saw him a couple of weeks ago, so they can't go see him this week. That they've used that visit up going down there. So you look at this, and right now, a little bit of buzz starting to crank up for Florida State, but this will be something, Josh, you'll shoot videos on the rest of the week. I'll do notes on Dawgs HQ the rest of the week. Chad Simmons and I will talk 45 times the rest of the week.
Still won't know.
You still won't know. This is really one of those, Josh, it's really one of those where we'll watch it with everybody on Saturday and go, oh, okay, well, that's where he was going. So we'll piece together as much as we can. I'll be surprised if he tells anybody, especially in the media, where his final decision is.
Yeah, I agree with that take. I do feel like it was a primarily Georgia-Florida buzz going into the weekend. But, of course, Florida State hosting him on an official visit, not just an unofficial visit. So he was there the entire weekend. They were able to pay for everything. They were able to roll out the red carpet. And I think that move, because everybody else hosted him on official visits during the summer, but that move was risky for Florida State to delay that official visit because at the time you didn't know if he was going to commit before then, but it looks like this recruitment has gone all the way until the end of October. So we'll see what happens this Saturday.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll be honest with you too. Florida State, the season they've had, I don't think they were probably in this thing as a serious threat, but what they've done and look, they're like, look, we got a visit left. Won't you come here? I think that really worked to their, but if they land this kid, I think that really worked to their advantage to have that official left late because everybody would have saved it if they thought it was going to be the most important thing.
Right.
So, but you look at what Florida State's done, that's certainly, if they land him, hasn't hurt them one bit.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. And I think at the same time, like a team like Miami, you were talking about Florida State, what they've done on the field. I think Miami's kind of slid a little further back because of the kind of the losses and how they've timed up with his decision. So a lot of teams, Auburn also has a bit of confidence heading into this weekend. Georgia, Florida State, Florida, Miami. Those are the teams, Rusty. We'll just have to wait and find out. Saturday, LJ McCray makes his decision. Thanks for coming on the Inside Scoop, talking some UGA recruiting today.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.